All right, this is Help Nibble number 74, and the next 5 here are basically just going to let you experience fasting kind of step by step, what the emotions are, what you feel, what the symptoms are, what the benefits are, whether you're doing it or not. So, in the future, in 10 years, it's going to be a major part of restoring health or maintaining health. Just like, we back in the early 2000s, we talked about the detriment of eating high grain, high sugar diets, and now that's very well accepted at this point. So I just did. So I'm finishing right now, 9 o'clock. I left the restaurant last night. So I'm just now completing 24 hours, and it's really not that big of a deal. I will say I've been doing this stuff for a long time, so I'm pretty fat adapted. I did do something new where I actually played hockey today at a game around 3:40. If I were in the middle of my fast, I would never do that. So, when you're fasting, your body's really not set up to be generating energy for like really hard workouts and things like that. It's a time to let your body repair, get rid of sugar addiction, get the brain, adapting so that it's in a healing state because it's using ketones for fuel and energy. But I did one fun part of fasting is the fat loading you do the night before. And so on our weight loss side, we always do that. And sometimes people, they're like really want to lose weight and they're like, oh, I don't. So they don't take the fat loading seriously, but it's a really important part. So because I did it so well last night, I went to a neighborhood restaurant here, the Italian Grill, and my wife and I eat there all the time. But we eat really healthy, usually a salad with chicken, but I got the fettuccine alfredo and ate a half a loaf of bread and finished with a big piece of cheesecake. I was so stuffed. I woke up this morning, I was still stuffed. But anyway, I thought I'd have enough in me to be able to get through the hockey game, and it seems just fine. So I checked my ketones, and my ketones were non-existent. So Erin did some fat loading too, and hers, when the meter registers low, that means you have no ketones. So you're running on sugar, and that's it. And my blood sugar was 107. I don't think my blood sugar usually runs a little higher than Erin's. Maybe because I'm less healthy. I don't know why, but mine was 107, and I'm not sure I've ever tested it at 107. I don't know if it's ever been that high. So really loading up did a number on me. But anyway, so no food all day, just water. The Himalayan salt and hot water, that really does the trick, to get through it. And so some of the things to expect if you're not fat adapted. So first day is usually okay. People just get hungry. Second day, you start getting hangry. So that's when, and sometimes if you're really a sugar burner, even the first day can really be a little taxing on you. And just keep in mind that every time you attempt to fast, that it gets easier and easier and easier. And then between your fasts, when you're intermittent fasting and you're eating a diet that's low in sugar and your eating window is small, some bodybuilders have their eating window to optimize human growth hormone down to like 4 hours, so they don't eat anything, and then they pack all their food in within 4 hours. So when you work on that stuff, you start getting your body fat adapted, and it takes some people a couple months to get fat adapted, and it takes some people a year. So it's different for everybody. But day 2, for the most part, even on our weight loss program, we use a type of fasting called partial fasting or intermittent fasting, and day 2 is tough for them too. So it shouldn't be too bad for me, but you start getting irritable, you get brain fog, and we talked about the ketones. Those are a huge health benefit, but when your body is used to when you're eating all the time, 6 meals a day or whatever, we were taught to do, you're constantly giving the brain sugar, and so it doesn't have a chance to use those ketones, and it actually functions much better with ketones. but it takes a little bit for your brain to adapt to that. So it makes you feel really foggy and lethargic, but that's not a bad thing. And if fighting through it is a great idea. You're not going to die. But one thing I do want to warn: if you have a chronic disease, if you're not a pretty normally healthy person, if you have like thyroid cancer, or when you're on meds, or even if you have some sort of disease, you really, that's what we do at Midwest Functional Health. We help people through with chronic disease because we monitor and coach, and it's a little different strategy. So, just keep that in mind. If you're really sick, you're not gonna, you could have some reactions that you don't know how to deal with fasting. In general, fasting's really safe, but those are outlier situations. So, made some notes here. Yeah, I think I got it all. Oh, the other thing was, when you're switching into ketosis. So on day 2, if you're not fat adapted, you'll be using the energy source of ketones rather than using the energy source of glucose, and all of a sudden your ketones will rise up, and if you should be checking your blood if you can, but you'll see your ketones rise up and your glucose will go way down. And then you'll actually, sometimes people just feel really good, they feel really alert, they have this clear-headedness because the ketones are such a great fuel for the brain, and then they get this energy and they work too hard, and then all of a sudden the sugars start to spike, and that's called gluconeogenesis. So the body will start breaking down muscle to form sugar, and this happens actually in thinner people. Sometimes it takes them a handful of fast to start getting to where they can actually burn fat, because the body will start grabbing muscle rather than fat. So if anybody if you have any questions, just message me on this Facebook page, and I'll help you as quickly as I can. But this is a process to get the body healthy and get the metabolism working like it's supposed to. So that's your health nibble for today.